And the U.S. president has just wrapped up his 4-day trip to China following top-level talks in Beijing, a town hall meeting in Shanghai, and a little sightseeing, including a trip to the Great Wall this afternoon. The question now is how much has this trip achieved and how the trip will affect Sino-U.S. relations down the line. To answer these questions, we are joined by Professor Wu Qin from the School of International and Public Affairs at Shanghai Jiaotong University. Hello, Professor Wu. Good to have you with us again.
My pleasure.
Well, this morning, of course, Premier Wen Jiabao and President Obama talked a lot about mutual trust to improve the relationship between the two countries, and saying that lack of it will actually harm the ties between the two nations. Now, I'm sure they don't mean it at lip service, but why do they purposely emphasize on this, emphasizes the words mutual trust so much?
Well, the reason is that we have seen a lot of trouble in the past between the two countries, and all the reason behind the trouble is that the lack of the mutual trust.
You mean speculations from both sides?
Yeah, right. As a new power which developed very fast, China has indicated its speed of development, and as an older superpower, United States will concern very much how United States will play its role in the world with the rise of China,
right.
And also China has some concern that how United States will treat him and fairly. So both the lack of mutual trust is a big problem in the past, and we can see a lot of trouble all because of the lack of trust. So this time I think Premier Wen Jiabao mentioned that specifically, and just try to indicate that once we can achieve mutual trust, and we can achieve a lot.
I remember actually prior to Obama's visit, you mentioned that a certain agreement perhaps will be reached by both nations. Obviously, last night they did actually release a joint statement. Will this statement set a tone for the future Sino-U.S. relationship down the line?
We have seen in the joint statement that they both sign a very long list of the area they can both work on together, and that's a very good and a positive signal. And basically that set a very strong foundation for the future's interaction between the two countries, because it's a kind of cooperative and positive framework for the cooperation for the coming years, and it's kind of roadmap toward the future's relationship in the two countries.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Wu, for your perspectives.
Yeah, very much welcome.
And we've been talking to Professor Wu from the School of International and Public Affairs at Shanghai Jiaotong University. Well, after completing his trip to China, U.S. President Barack Obama arrived in South Korea this evening. And this is the last stop on his Asian tour. During his less than 24-hour stay in Seoul, Obama will meet with his South Korean counterpart, Lee Myung-bak. The two leaders are expected to discuss several issues, such as a South Korean-U.S. free trade agreement and nuclear disarmament in the North. Obama will head back to the United States tomorrow.